I'd like to explain to you what I do for emergency preparedness as far as finances. Single parent, don't have a lot of ability to purchase gold coins or things like that, so I just pondered and prayed about what I should do, and this was the answer that I received, was that I could get jewelry in smaller quantities for cheaper, and then in an emergency, if you wanted to purchase something, you really couldn't use a gold coin unless it was a large item, and most people will probably trade in smaller items. And so the answer I got was to get jewelry so that you could trade a piece of gold or a piece of silver for an item, food or water or whatever you needed in an emergency. So I started probably about, 5 years ago, and I would hit estate sales or secondhand stores. Every time I traveled through a different town, I would hit their secondhand store and I would just look at their used jewelry. I rarely have purchased any of this new. I have at times on clearance sales at like a Kmart or something, purchased an item or two, but most of the time I just get it at an estate sale. Some of this is family heirlooms, like my grandmother's ring or wedding rings or things like that, but things that people gave my kids or something. But most of this is stuff I've actually bought at secondhand stores and or estate sales. Just last week I got a 50-pound box of jewelry. I guess the lady was a little bit of a hoarder at an estate sale, and I got a gold necklace. I wonder if I can find it real quick in here. Gold necklace, and in there it was a nice chain, and also all of this silver was in that container for $50. So that is a lot of silver to get. Most it's sterling. Some of it's really kind of artistic and probably worth a little bit more than just the silver value. I'm questioning some of the things as far as real diamonds too. There was not a pair but one. So this was all just from that estate sale. But I have several of these. Once I get them full, you put them in a safety deposit box, and I've also purchased sterling silverware, and I just put that in airtight containers. But for the most part, what I do is I purchase the item, get it, like this one was 50 cents, they're sterling, and I write down where I got it and when, and the date, so that's sterling. That one actually doesn't have the price on it. This one was $3, the sterling. This one was $2, and that's a big piece of silver. And these things are full. And that one actually looks custom made. Some of these there's a few things that I have listed in the gold that I'm not sure about them. They're non-magnetic. That's one of the first tests. The second thing I do is I look first. Some of them are actually labeled. Some of them are new. This one says sterling. It's an ankle bracelet, $5. I don't normally pay more than $1 or $2. Most of the things in here were $1 or $2, sometimes even less. The next thing I do is I look for on the clasp. You can see, for example, on this clasp right here, it will be stamped. Usually it's stamped made in Italy. Most of the better silver comes from Italy. Some of it does come from Peru and some from Mexico, but it's questionable when it comes from Mexico. But it's stamped 925, which that's the purity, 0.925. Is considered sterling. So sometimes you can get a little bit higher than 925, like a 965, but I rarely have seen anything higher than that because it's too soft. But each one of these is stamped. Sometimes on these type of silver clasps, it's stamped actually on the little pullback for the clasp, or it's on the little teeny piece of the front where it opens to clasp. But most of them are just on the clasp themselves or to the side of the clasp. Silver usually has this type of a clasp. I don't know if you can see it reflecting, but it's usually a wider clasp. Gold, however, usually has a safety mechanism of some sort on the more expensive items. So you can see this one is stamped, and it also has the safety clasps on the side of it, and they also usually have a kind of a locking mechanism as well. Pearls, usually, I don't know that all of these are real, but usually it's on the side of the clasp right there, and you can see, hopefully you can see, it's very small, but you can see it's written on right on the side right there, or it's on the flat part of the locking mechanism itself to tell if it's real. First test I do, if I can't find the clasp itself to read the clasp, is I check with a magnet. If it's magnetized, magnetic, it's usually not gold. If it isn't magnetized, it can be brass, copper, silver, gold, and I think nickel also is not. But oh gosh, I need 2 hands for this. Anyway, so then you can use a magnifying glass or buy a jeweler's loupe if you're going to do this for, take much time. I would recommend getting a jeweler's loupe. But then, if you can see on this, I was trying to tell you, it's written right on that little teeny part right there where you open the clasp. It's very, very small, but it's right there. So a jeweler's loupe is really helpful when you're doing this. This was $3 in a grab bag. It's 14 karat gold. So I think that's a really good return on my investment there. And this entire one is gold, and then I have several different ones of silver, but I don't have them all. Obviously, I don't really want to have them hanging around. Some of them are, when I get things, they're broken. Somebody will donate them or sell them at an estate sale because they're broken. Most of the time, when that's the case, or they'll just have a diamond earring and they don't know that it's diamond. The way you can tell a diamond earring is they usually have threads. I'm trying to see where an extra one is. Yeah, like this is a good example. Yeah, I don't know if you can see it well or not. Let me see if I can. No. There's threads on the back of the stem, and it's usually stamped on the stem as well what it is. And so it will say like 14 karat, and then you'll see the threads because the back of the earring will thread on, and that's a safety mechanism for diamonds. So I'm sure that's probably a real diamond, and I'm sure it says gold on there. But anyway, I just wanted to show you that, what to look for diamond earrings, real diamond earrings. Some of them may not have that, the older ones, but they're usually labeled. So this is my little broken section right here. So this has broken clasps, but they are 14 karat. Both of these were broken clasps. Normally I don't even leave those in here. This also has a broken little section right there. This was $1.50 opal and gold, but this section is broken and would catch on things. So either they can be fixed and worn, or I can put them in my scrap metal. Now what I normally do is when I find pieces of gold that are broken, I do save the clasps because sometimes I can repair them myself, but I'll take the chains off because the chains I really don't want. So what I'll do is so this is 14 karat back of a jewelry. What I do normally is I look at jewelry up on eBay and see if it's going for very much. I sold a watch similar to this one for $120, I think it was, but it did have the gold chain band as well. But this is stamped 14 karat. It's a watch band back, or a watch shell, and it's not worth very much sold this way. So I have a bag of actual gold that I know is gold that is broken, that I can sell back, or I can refine it myself. There's people around that will show you how to do that for a fee or not for a fee, if you can find somebody that will show you how to do that. And I have a bag for silver, and then I have one for just scrap metal. So sometimes they'll have big grab bags for like $20 or $25, and several of these jewelries have come in grab bags for like $25. This was $2 grab bag, and it's 14 karat, but sometimes they'll be like, I have a bracelet that I found and several pieces of jewelry in a $25 grab bag. I don't like those as much because you don't know what you're getting. I kind of like to know what I'm getting. So $3 for this gold bracelet is a good deal. Anyway, I just kind of wanted to show you that. So that the thing about these is, in the olden days, the women would wear the coins on their veils so they could see if they lost something. If you had to take gold coins and leave, if one person's carrying those coins or bars or whatever, it would be very heavy for them to carry. But if you had jewelry, you could disperse it and everybody could wear it under their shirts, and you could put rings and bracelets on, and even wear the rings or bracelets around the neck, put it in containers. But that way everybody's carrying the weight dispersal, and if one person gets lost or separated, you haven't lost all of your gold or silver. So that was just another reasoning I thought why it would be better to use jewelry as your gold and silver than actual coins, because you can use smaller pieces to purchase the items that you want. But anyway, that's the inexpensive way that I get emergency preparedness funds, because I would never have the funds to buy coins. And then, seriously, where do you store them? I mean, this I can just throw in a safety deposit box, and I don't have to worry about it. But gold coins would be heavy, and also sometimes in the past the government has asked you to turn in your gold coins, and the only thing they would allow you to keep is jewelry, vintage jewelry, or keepsake, family keepsakes. So, how would they know that these weren't family keepsakes if it did come down to anybody taking the silver or gold in your safety deposit boxes or whatever? They wouldn't take these, but they would take gold coins. So anyway, this was just how I organize them. These little bags are $1 for 100 of them at Walmart, and they have all different sizes. I've got up to the bigger sizes in case they can't fit, and I have a couple of these bigger ones that have the odder sized things in them that don't quite fit in the smaller containers. But I'm working on a new container now, so these ones will go to the safety deposit box, and I'll end up working with these newer containers. And if it's an iffy thing, like I'm not sure, then I'll just throw it in. Like I said, I've got my broken stuff in this one, and then some of the pearls I'm not sure about. Some of them actually do say, 14 karat, and I'm sure that they would put that on a fake pearls. But also, if you have a friend that's a jeweler, you can have them appraised before you put them in the safety deposit box. Or if you wear the jewelry, if you want to wear it, you can have it at your home. They can give you an appraisal, and then you can insure it. But if you leave it in your home, most homeowners and policies only cover $2,500, which is one diamond ring, or not even a diamond ring, depending on the size of the diamond. So you really don't want to just keep them at home without having them appraised. So I highly recommend that you have them appraised. You videotape them, make sure that you've got them all videotaped. Then I would put them in a safety deposit box where they're insured, and make sure that you have proof of what was in there when it went in, and I think you'd be covered then. Anyway, they stack nicely. They're portable, and they could actually be worn in an emergency if that was the case. So that's how I collect and store financial gold and silver for emergency preparedness.